there's a lot of opportunity to grow in this period. Um, yeah, and really just allow your purpose to unfold and allow your gifts to unfold. There's a lot of potential energy right now in the field. Um, yeah, I
Yeah.
feel very good about the future. Yeah, there's some things happening in the world that I don't necessarily want to participate in, but I don't have to. I don't have to participate in it. Everyone gets to play their own game. And the more I become sovereign, I get to play the games I want to play. I get to go
Okay.
share meditation at fruit festivals and eat a bunch of fruit with people I love and do fun projects and whatever. Um, yeah, this is your game. And the more that you can, I guess, clear blockages out, you'll get to flow more. So
Okay.
that is essentially the journey of purification is cleaning out what what doesn't need to be there anymore in your mind and body. And we have tools for that.
So, so, talk to me about playing a game because, right, like, or playing games because we talked about control earlier, right? There's things you can control, right? You can control parts of your body, you can control time. There's a lot of things in your life you can control.
Yeah.
There's also things in this world that are out of your control, right? And so how do you deal with things like if you look at forces in the world that are suppressive, right? They're destructive, or they have this agenda, and they're affecting the world that we're in. How do you deal with that? And you talk about games and not playing games and playing your own games and
Yeah. Yeah.
control versus things we can't control. How do you manage all that?
Well, I think a big realization came for me when I realized that those forces, those people, organizations, beings, what have you, that are on top of this, mundane food chain, they are no different from me. That was huge. That those same forces are within me, and there's no separation there. So I stopped vilifying those forces, and I started seeing them as okay, that's part of the game. Okay, you got say you're playing Monopoly, right? There's a go to jail square there. There's a chance card here. There's these parts of the game, and as you learn the game board more and more, that these is just part of it, you can still choose though. So, for example, these forces put out all sorts of poison in our media, in our grocery stores. That's part of the game. But at the end of the day, you're grabbing for it at the grocery store. You're turning on the TV and watching that. You're deciding, I'm going to play that part of the game and be
Hmm.
influenced by that part of the game. So as we become, this is where the meditation comes in because you become more aware of your decisions, how they affect you.
Hmm.
You start seeing the games you want to play, the parts of the games that aren't working for you anymore that you need to let go of, and the parts of the games that are more wholesome
Hmm.
and more balanced. So
Wow.
there's nothing evil about any parts of the game. It's just that's your own perception of it, your own projection. That just is a part of the game.
Hmm.
And it leads to places you might not want to go, but there are other things that lead to places you do want to go. More purity, more awareness, um, just things that are more wholesome, things that hit the mark more. And so that's kind of the view I take on it. And as a game, it's more playful for me. It loses some of its heaviness and it has more levity that way.
Yes.
Helps me take life just a little less seriously because I tend to skew towards the more serious. So I sometimes need tools that take me away from that.
It's
Sometimes
good.
people are
We can
too,
all lighten up a little bit, I think.
yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, these forces are at play. And I think as we move more into our own potential, we have our own protections in place. And so even though we're in this environment, I've got not to get woo on you, but I have an aura, and there are things that won't get into it. And you can believe that, you don't have to believe that. I can feel it at this point, and I know when it's been, penetrated, and when I need to, protect it or put my defenses up a little more. But also, that happens. Sometimes you just got to let things come through, and they come through because they resonate on some way, and then you process it and you learn from that pattern. So, yeah, I guess one more thing I'll say is you can't intellectually understand this game in its entirety. We can talk about it and we talk about it in this platform because it can inspire. It can inspire you and I. It can inspire our listeners, to walk their path, their own idiosyncratic path. But we can't understand all of that's happening intellectually. So a lot of the times it just is what it is, and you've got to be there for it and feel it. And the more you're able to feel it without resistance, like you said, then you can learn from it and grow from it and move forward. And you don't have to necessarily understand what's happening or why it's happening, but just accept that it is happening.
Hmm. And how do you protect your auric shield?
It's again, it's part of that purification. So day by day, I take care of myself, and I'm not sitting there imagining, okay, like the golden light is coming now and enveloping me. I mean, you can do that and it probably has an effect. Um, but it's just me taking care of myself, and that vibration comes from within and penetrates outward. It's not coming from some golden light out here. I'm taking care of my own heart and body, and that is just naturally going to affect my vibration and aura from outside, from the
Okay.
center.
Okay. Um, you've been hearing our discussion with Bradley Lovell. Bradley is, gosh, a Renaissance man. Um, Also a musician. I didn't even mention. You can actually find Bradley's music on all streaming platforms. He's under Bradley J. That's one word, Bradley J. All streaming platforms.